U92, your number one for hip-hop is Dre Rocka, and I got a very special guest. I got plural, right? We got my man Justin from the other side of the Beehive, Jason and Zack from Damage Plan MMA Podcast. What's going on, fellas?
What up? What up?
So thank you guys for coming back. You know, I'm a huge fan of our local MMA scene, and I hear we got another card coming up that we need to be excited about. What's coming up?
So April 30th at the Maverick Center, we have Fierce Fighting Championship coming up, and it's a fire card. It's a good card.
The last one, by the way, thank you for everybody. Justin, you came with me last time. It was number 18, I believe.
Yep, number 18.
18, fireworks, the whole night. Like, literally, I got kind of like, I was like, man, I want to get some nachos or something. But then I was like, I don't want to miss nothing.
We didn't leave.
Yeah, we didn't want to leave. So I'm telling you guys, if you haven't checked out the Fierce Fighting Championship, this is the one you need to come and check out, man. Let's just go to the top of the card. Let's go to our main event, the one that is setting it all off, man.
I mean, Mitch Ramirez, he's coming back. This is supposed to be his last fight here in Salt Lake City before he goes to the big show. The plan for Mitch is he's gonna go finish Tyson Duckworth in our main event, get on the Dana White Contender Series this summer, get signed to the UFC, and off he goes, right? The fun part for Tyson is he knows he's the guy coming in from out of town to try and derail that hype train. You know, he's 12-9, veteran of the sport, been around a long time. He's not intimidated by, you know, the hometown star, Mitch, who has had some highlight reel knockouts. And, you know, he's somebody that we've all been watching come through the ranks for the last few years. And you know, we made him our main event for this card, and we want to send him off to a big show with a bang. But at the same time, you know, Tyson's coming to he's coming to ruin the party. So I think that one's going to be electric.
And he knows what he's coming for. He said, he says, I'm being brought in to lose this fight. So he you know he's going to have a little extra incentive to come in here and spoil the hometown guys.
Well, and these veterans know, right? These veterans, he's like I said, he's had over 20 professional fights. He knows what he's being brought in for.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's been around the block. He understands. So that's the beauty with MMA. It doesn't really matter who should win fights. If you watch fights on any level, anywhere across the country, from regional shows to the UFC, the guy who shouldn't win wins all the time.
Oh, yeah,
and
man.
I think that's like one of the things that's so fun about MMA in general is in a split second, everything changes.
Well, I think this is the perfect time to see what's going on, what's unfolding, right? Because last time we were talking about like Utah being on that brink of like we're on the map kind of thing, and we always play with it. We flirt with this thing, whether if it's Berkman or
Jeremy Horn.
Jeremy Horn, right? Like all these guys that I mean, Jeremy Horn's a legend, right?
Yes.
And all these guys have done and left their mark in some way, shape, or form. And it's exciting to see guys like Mitch come up and literally take his craft to the next level. I mean, he's in a training group that is gonna get him there, right?
He's definitely in a good camp.
Yeah, he just moved down to Vegas not too long ago, but we still consider him one of our guys, right?
Oh, absolutely.
He's from Salt Lake City, grew up here, trained here at a couple different gyms. I mean, this card, I was fortunate enough. I matchmake this whole card, and I made it. You can see every single fight on this card has somebody from Utah.
I love that, man.
This card, there are a couple that are Utah versus Utah. Not many, but I think there's a couple on here that are there's a couple on here that are Utah versus Utah. But pretty much I've kind of viewed this as like this is a Utah versus everybody.
No, I see a name on here that kind of sticks out. Joel Haro. Is it any relation?
That's my boy.
To the boxer Haro?
No
relation there?
No relation. Yeah.
Oh, okay, you know who I'm talking about though.
Oh yeah.
The local.
Yeah.
Yep. I think he's like a WBC champion or was or something.
Yeah.
like that.
No,
I think he used to be.
Yeah, I think he used to be.
Okay,
I know who you're talking about, but no relationship.
Oh, okay.
But I actually trained with Joel Haro.
Really?
El Chapo is what we call him.
Oh, okay.
El Chapo, Joel Haro, because he chops people down with those leg kicks.
He got to come out to that song.
You know what? I tried to pitch that to him. He wasn't feeling it. No. I think he's going to go Damian Marley for this one.
Oh, dope.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Justin, man, you're a huge MMA fan.
Yes, sir.
Especially, a fan of the Damage Planet podcast. what are you excited about for Fierce Fighting Championship 19?
Well, my dude, Eric Iman, the co-main event. He's going to fight Edson Lopez. Kind of a last-minute change on the card, but me and Eric go way back. Obviously, a good friend of the podcast, The Other Side of the Beehive. He's been on, I think, more times than anybody. A good friend outside. A guy I know that is just dedicated and just grinds. You talk Eric Iman, that's a legend here in Utah, right?
Yeah, and I think he's a heavyweight that needs more respect, right? Because
absolutely.
You look at what he did in that knockout, not his last fight, obviously, but the one before that.
The LFA fight?
Yeah, the LFA fight went viral.
Yeah.
Right? That knockout was seen everywhere. I think it was on ESPN too.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
And that's our guy from Utah.
That's our boy. Dude. So he's focused, man. We had him on the podcast last week. The episode dropped last Monday. I'm excited for him. He says this is the last one. Wants to go out on his shield, and I'm stoked for him.
I was kind of confused on that, though, because he was like, I got my face fixed. This is me at 100% finally. Now, if you're at 100% and you perform well, what keeps you from going again?
Well,
that's that fighter mentality, right? You know, right?
I mean, there's never. I had to come to this realization. I am not Eric, right? I am not some killer. I am not going to have. I believe this will be his 15th pro fight.
15th, yeah.
Yeah, I'm never getting there. I got into this game way too late, and I have other aspirations in this sport. But as a fighter, I got to 4-0. I was an amateur champion. I lost that in a very controversial way. I wanted that rematch, and I chased it. I mean, he told me forever, let it go. I chased it, and then I was like, well, my wife's pretty much done with the fighting thing. Like, I want something. I want a performance I can hang my hat on. So I dropped down a weight class to try and fight a dude that was 5-0, one of the toughest amateurs in the state. Like I was pinpointing like the toughest guy in the state. I wanted to fight them, and I wanted to beat them or get beat, so that I knew that okay, I reached my ceiling or whatever. I tried to fight Johan Rubio at the Maverick Center during COVID. Like, he was a pound for pound best amateur fighter in the state. Like, I was trying to find those guys, but I couldn't. I was always chasing that performance that I could feel good about walking away from, and I've gone from chasing to chasing to chasing. And I kind of realized when I didn't get a fight a couple weekends ago, because unfortunately my opponent had to pull out for medical reasons. I was like, man, I'm always just going to be chasing. At some point, you have to realize like your journey can't turn into chasing.
Yeah.
And I hope that Eric understands how much he's appreciated and how much he's looked up to in the MMA community, and how much everybody appreciates and values him and respects him and what he's done in the sport of MMA here in Utah. And I hope that he doesn't end up chasing more fights rather than just looking at the body of work of what everybody appreciates what he's done and being able to hang his hat on his body of work.
Is there any form of recognition for our MMA community other than a championship?
I think it's still it's too young at this point, right? I mean, it's getting bigger and bigger every day, but
we need to start a Utah MMA Hall of Fame.
Utah MMA Hall of Fame.
Thank you. That's
Damage Plan MMA podcast is going to do a Utah MMA Hall of Fame.
Thank you. Yeah, let's do it. I feel like there should be, and then at some point maybe that we can have like an award show, right? Knockout of the year. I mean, these things they're done in other division or organizations, right?
Oh yeah.
But I feel like we need that because we
need it. We have some.
Why haven't we have an appreciation night for Horn yet, right? Like, I feel like we have a living legend here, just chilling.
There's a couple guys that have been around here.
I think of Horn, Berkman, Court McGee,
like
Deanna Bennett.
Yeah. Deanna Bennett. Like, there's a list of guys on
there.
there.
The Showdown days, those guys. My coach, Jordan Smith.
Jerome Hatch, who's been around forever. Steve Seiler.
Steve Sharp.
Hatch and Seiler, both on this next card.
Go on and on and on.
Yeah, Sharp's kind of like the guy that I don't know if he's ever made it to like the UFC, but he's a local legend. Like, that dude.
I was telling my wife.
Everybody knows Sharp.
I was telling my wife when he fought the last Maverick Center card he fought at, and my wife was like, "There's so many pink shirts because he dyes his hair pink."
Yeah.
And I said, back 15, 20 years ago, that place was packed. Everybody knew who Steve Sharp was, and I'm fortunate enough to have gotten to train with him just recently too. And the guy's an absolute stud. Yeah, I wish we could get him into like coaching, or because the guy's he's a walking book of knowledge when it comes to MMA.
Yeah, I've sparred with him once, and the first thing that I recognized was his fight IQ is
through the roof.
Yeah, here, sorry, that's not very good for radio, but I mean, it's way above. It's way above. Like, I've had the opportunity to train with some really good guys, Jordan Smith, and other pros, and he's a good coach and a good teacher, and explain things to me in the middle of the round and then after the round. And we have so many guys here. I mean now my wheels are turning.
I know, we're just like, man,
we need a Hall of Fame here. We need a Hall of Fame MMA.
Awesome. And you guys are the perfect guys to lead it, man. You guys are, I always tell people, whether if it's in our hip hop community, in the arts community, in this podcast community, you're representing not only yourself and your brand, but you're representing us as other individuals that are in that same field, right? And you guys are doing it very well, man. You guys are holding yourselves right, and you guys are shining light on the people that deserve it, right? And all the athletes that, train hard and going there not knowing if they're going to come out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the one thing that I want people to understand, is that, like, yeah, while MMA is a sport and there's a lot of sportsmanship, but sometimes people don't come out. Some things happen where you get choked out, and, things happen, right? Yep. You get hit in the head just like football. You know what I mean? And so I feel like we need to show more appreciation for those guys. Not to say that we don't, but, that's why I want you guys here often, and to talk about Fierce Fighting Championship 19. It goes down April 30th at the Maverick Center.
At the Maverick Center.
What's the website?
FierceFightingChampionship.com. Make sure you click on whoever your favorite fighter is. Make sure you click on their picture, because that's how these guys get credit for these fights. If you don't have one, pull one out of the hat, or just pick somebody on there and come enjoy some fights.
Absolutely. Who on this card are you guys excited for? Like, personal excitement?
I mean, personally, because Joel is not only my coach and a good friend of mine, and I train with him. Joel Haro is probably one of my favorites, but that's personal bias on that one. The whole card is just stacked. Julian Ruiz on the card, another up-and-coming pro guy that's an absolute stud. Cole Schaefer, Kent Mafaleo, who you guys saw at the last fight. He came on our podcast and said, I want to be the most violent heavyweight in Utah. Dude, and he's backed it up.
Yeah. And the support that he has, man.
Unreal.
It was insane to see how much, like, the cheers and everything. I'm like, wow.
It's been amazing watching that guy's career, because, I mean, Zach and I both have kind of watched him through the last 4 or 5 years, and his career just evolved. And you watch him, he's into a legit gym now. He's training with, Ramsey Najim, UFC vet. Like, he's down there pushing it, and you can see his game getting elevated. He's another guy that could be knocking on the door.
Yeah, man.
We talk about it all the time with those fighters. He flipped a switch to doing MMA and being an MMA fighter to being all in MMA. And since he's been all in, he's terrifying. Matchmaking for him, he's become one of the hardest guys to fight.
I can imagine so.
Because I can't, and this is just honest truth. Hey, I got to fight for you guys. 2-0 heavyweight. Here's his name. What do you think? Yeah, we'll fight anybody. 2-3 days. I got this injury.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll be ready in time by April 30th. Okay, cool. Hey, we got this guy. He's 2-0. Yeah, I'll fight him. I'll fight anybody. Big bad heavyweight. Whatever. And I think that, they go a couple days later. They watch the film. Cool. Send him a contract. Crickets. Coaches watch the film, and maybe we'll fight somebody else. He's terrifying, man. He checks all the boxes, and he's all in, and he's committed. I would say for me, he's one of the ones. Unfortunately, we did just lose his opponent to an injury, a legit injury, and we're finding him somebody else. We have some other. I have a manager that I have a lot of faith in. That when he says he's serious about a guy taking a fight, he is. So. We'll find him somebody to fight, but
is this still amateur, or is this
no,
he moved professional?
He's pro. He's 2-0 as a pro.
Yeah, he's 2-0 as a pro. We only have 3 amateur bouts on this card. Like when you came in January, we just had a couple amateur fights, and then the rest are going to be pro bouts. So we'll kick off the night with 3 amateur bouts, and then right now we're scheduled for 11 pro fights on the card.
Doesn't it feel good to be done with all of the bullshit we've dealt with the last 2 years getting back into the run. MMA constantly every weekend. If it's not a UFC, it's a fucking bitchin' local card.
Yeah, a lot of editing I got to do now.
A lot of editing, yeah.
I forgot about that.
Thank you, Justin. It's all good. It's all the bleach for Justin.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it does feel good, man.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm excited for Fierce Fighting Championship 19, April 30th at the Maverick Center. Get your tickets.
Let me just add this. I heard we're going to have a pretty bad DJ coming in, spinning the wheels of steel for us.
Yes, man. I got called up, and I can't let my guys down. So I'll be there, Maverick Center, before the doors open. You know, I'll have the music on for when you come in. We're gonna set the mood. We're gonna have a good time.
It's gonna be a great night. It is good.
Doors open before. Fights will start at 5. We did that in January, and it was you guys were there as fans.
Yep.
I thought it made the night go just so much better. Kind of got started a little bit earlier than most of the time. Get home at a decent time.
Yeah, it was nice.
Nice, right?
I think LFA, we didn't get home until like 1. You left early. We didn't get home until about 1 o'clock in the morning.
You left early, Justin?
Wow.
Yeah, I called you out.
I might have been doing a little bit of time. You know what? I time traveled that night, if being completely honest.
Waldo was there too. We had a great time at that fight, and we had a great time at Fierce Fighting Championship 18. Literally, it's not long. It doesn't feel like you're there that long.
Nope.
And all the seats are good, right? There's not a bad seat in the house. Are VIPs open? Do we have any tables?
So here's the deal. I think we left an impact in January. Tickets went on sale a few weeks ago. The tables were sold out in 8 hours.
Well, no VIP tickets for you.
Gone.
So there's 2 suites still available that seat 16, which is pretty cool. They'll have the suite just up above, and it's a good view and all. But yeah, I mean it's the stadium seat only now, and that place is going to be rocking, and there's going to be a different energy that Utah MMA hasn't had in a while in a big arena like that, probably since the Showdown days. And one thing that I'm excited about, we haven't even talked about it. How long? I don't know how long we've been talking, but Jan Jorgensen's back.
Yeah.
Yes.
And for people that don't know, they've missed it because he hasn't fought for 7 years?
Yeah, I think 6 years. Yeah.
The Janimal at one point was supposed to be the next big thing to come out of Utah. Everybody thought he was UFC, heading to the UFC, whatever, and then he decided to go back to his roots of college football and coaching and stuff. And but he's got that itch and he wants to scratch it, and he's fighting a very tough Bellator vet. And I mean, Jan's I've been in touch with him, and he's like, he's pretty much told me, find me anybody that'll fight me. I promise the fight won't last long.
Oof,
and
that's terrifying.
Jan was, they called him the Janimal for a reason. I mean, he was a monster back in the day, and he looks in phenomenal shape. Like, I mean, I'm so, and I'll say it, I don't care, because I'm probably going to get some crap. As a BYU football fan, I'm super pumped to watch Jan fight in person, Jason.
And let me just preface, he's wearing the Utis red hoodie.
Oh, you did
it's
me like
Ute
that.
red.
He's the one printing these hoodies. You did me like that.
I'm a Michigan fan, so.
I'm an Oregon Duck fan.
Quack, quack.
Yeah. So, I mean, big fights. It's Fierce Fighting Championship number 19, April 30th at the Maverick Center. I'm going to be DJing. The Damage Plan podcast, you guys are going to be working.
Yes, sir.
You're sideline. You're in the ring. Both of you guys
We'll be commentating.
Commentating, usually, and then we have another guy that's ring announcing for us.
Okay. Are you doing the interviews this time?
Yep, I'll do the cage interviews.
I want to say, man, you did a great job with that,
Thank
by the
you,
way.
I appreciate that.
Arguably, Utah's #1 MMA commentary team right here.
Appreciate it.
Arguably, it is. What are you talking about?
Wow.
Number 1.
Thanks, Trey.
number 1.
Yeah, no, number 1. Number 1 show in the state of Utah. Fierce Fighting Championship.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm gonna do some more cussing, so you have some more.
No,
work to
don't.
do.
Please don't. Come on. Justin, where can the people catch you at?
Yo, the other side of the Beehive, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. We drop every Monday. Check us out. And J_Sim68 on the gram. I don't post much. Not a social media guy, but every once in a while I'll scratch the itch, you say.
It's 2022, bro. Get with it.
Yeah.
We need to get you to get your picks. I want to follow you to see your picks for this fight. So that's your homework. I want to see some, some breakdowns.
We're working on a little app that the fans can be a little interactive, that they can make picks. We're working on that. Might be a few shows down the road, but
Like we want an app so people can download the Fierce Fighting Championship app, and while they're there at the show, can pick who they think is going to win the fight, and then we can put that up on the screen to show like
incredible.
Here's what the fans think.
Win.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be really fun.
Heck yeah, man.
Show, so.
Heck yeah, man. Well, Damage Plan podcast, you guys are doing an amazing job. Jason and Zack, where can the people find you guys at?
You can find us at Damage Plan MMA _podcast_ on Instagram, Damage Plan MMA podcast on YouTube, and you can find us on Facebook, Instagram,
I'm at
Spotify,
at
iTunes.
79.
Yeah. I just want to give a shout out to Justin, the Other Side of the Beehive podcast. He had us on. Amazing podcast. So if you haven't listened to it, go check out those guys.
Yeah, check that episode out. It was good stuff.
Yeah, their latest episode. I've heard some excerpts from it, but I've heard it's a great podcast, and Eric's a stud. So I'm going to have to check that out. And thank you again for having us, Dre. We appreciate it.
Of course. April 30th at the Maverick Center. Fierce Fighting Championship number 19. Website again for tickets?
FierceFightingChampionship.com.
Perfect, man. You all have a great time, man. I'll see you guys, Fierce Fighting Championship, and we'll talk to you soon.